Good afternoon, folks. I'm Dr. J from TradeMonster.com, letting you know what's going on the CMZ today here at the world's busiest futures exchange. That is the CME Group. If you follow them on Twitter, it's twitter.com/@CME Group. Now here's what's going on. We've got pretty good activity in the market, but not a lot of volume. In other words, trading volumes are down pretty decently today as traders are sort of waiting after yesterday's sell-off. There was a bit of a tip-off in yesterday's sell-off, however, and that was that the VIX only jumped 1 point, one single point, and was barely able to hold much of that throughout the trading session, even as the market fell about 200 points. S&P's down over 30 yesterday. The VIX just couldn't push up more than one single point. Well, that tell, in other words, people weren't afraid, they weren't scared out of the markets. That tell was telegraphed even more by what Mike Palmer told us on the VIX Sonar report that Andrew Coffey filmed yesterday, where Mike, well, here, take a listen.
In the middle of this, in the VIX options, people were making very big bets in January, in the January options, specifically the January 24 puts, that we were going to see a big drop-off in volatility going forward. The January 24 puts, roughly 45,000 were purchased for 57.5 cents on Friday. Now,
as you can see, Mike was talking about the buying of puts at the January 24 strike, about 45,000 of those puts for about 55 to 57 cents. Well, those puts today, because the VIX is down again today, in fact, the VIX broke 24 today. As the VIX did make that break, we had the puts increase from that 57 level, approximately where they bought them yesterday, again, the January 24 strike, to about 80 cents today. Percentage-wise, a fantastic return, especially if you happen to have about 45,000 of them. So that's one of the things that we're focused on. I'll get to today in just a sec. Just need to tell you, though, about Joe Terranova, a friend of mine from CNBC. He's written a great book, folks, called Buy High, Sell Higher. If you take a look at this right down here, we've got a link to it, and we'll put a link at the end of the video as well, a link to a little ad of Joe walking around New York talking a little bit about exactly what he covers in the book and why there's some great advice from a seasoned trader who many of you, of course, see every day on Fast Money, talking about what works and what doesn't in today's markets. Now, back to today's market. We've got the Dow Jones Industrials. They moved up by triple digits today. Not quite as much as they were down yesterday, but as they did, the VIX fell, as I say, all the way through the 24 level, breaking down into the 23s, lowest level in several months. As the VIX did that, of course, the people who had been profiting from a drop in the VIX by owning puts started to let some go, and the VIX kind of popped back up to the 25 level. Now, still considerably lower than 27 and change where the VIX was yesterday, but that is telling us that right around here, which is what I've said for, I believe, the last couple weeks, I thought we would see somewhere between 24 and 34 for a range out of the VIX, and that the VIX would more or less be centered around perhaps the 27, 28 level. In other words, as many trades under that as over that area. I still believe it based on what Merkel and Sarkozy can get out of David Cameron and the UK. We'll see how the rest of it plays out. I am Dr. J, co-founder of the broker TradeMonster.com, where you can, of course, trade futures like these for just $1.50 a contract, options for just 50 cents a contract, and stocks just $7.50. That's TradeMonster.com, our online broker, founded by my brother Pete and I. Again, at the end of this, we'll have that link to Joe Terranova's video, Buy High, Sell Higher, his new book, going to be a bestseller, folks, on the business lists. I'm Dr. J from TradeMonster.com.
Baby girl, I think we need to sit and talk, playing with my money, paper, scissors, rock, going up my heart and stick a pin and pop, either you could be